Today I'm going to be showing you and we're going to be reviewing the Elite Force M4 CQB. Alright, so what you're going to get with your M4 CQB when you order it from Elite Force is a very nice box, obviously, Elite Force, but guess who doesn't care about that? What you're going to get in the box is you're going to get a cleaning and unjamming rod, which will be taped to the inside of this box here, so don't miss that. Cleaning unjamming rod. You get all your information, your manual, which the manual's alright. It shows mostly the M4A1, but anything that's different with this gun from the M4A1, they show you. One thing I had a problem with, and I'll come back to this later, I had a problem with that manual, we'll come back to that later. You're going to get your advertisement for Elite Force BBs and Elite Force Facebook page. You get the yellow card, which I've mentioned with my 1911. It says don't return this to the store where you bought it. Return it straight back to Umarex USA and they'll fix it. And then you have your warranty registration card. Very important, fill that out and send it in so you can activate your warranty. You get two 300 round high capacity or high cap magazines. With this gun I have one loaded and one's unloaded. Set that to the side. They give you the awesome M4 CQB, which we'll come back to that. And there is a little box of goodies underneath this plastic piece, so let's take a look at that. In this little box here underneath, you get your grip, extra grip pod with a quick disconnect, which is a really good add-on. In a little box inside the box, you get the normal wall charger. If you don't want to, you don't want to use these. If you haven't bought one already, buy a universal smart charger. It takes the guessing out of when your battery is fully charged, so you don't end up breaking your battery. Which you get with this, you get a nickel metal hydride 8.4 volt 1200 mAh crane stock battery. And that's what you get in that little box, and that's it. That's all you get in the box with the M4 CQB. Alright, external features of this gun. You have one magazine release on this side, just like any regular M4. Trigger right here. On the other side here, you have your safe, semi, and full auto switch right there. You have your front flip-up sight right here, which is really nice. It's adjustable for windage and elevation and all that. You got one sling mount down here, a plastic bird cage style flash hider. It has 14mm counterclockwise threads underneath it. Crane stock, which is a really nice crane stock, by the way. Your charging handle right here. Obviously, it sounds really nice, sounds really good, but it's obviously just like any other AEG. You pull that to expose the hop up, so you can adjust your hop up that way. And yeah, that's basically it. I mean, it's a M4, you know, but it's made for indoor play. The upper and lower receiver are both nylon fiber. All the rails are metal. Sight's metal. The crane stock is a nylon fiber. The magazine, like I said a few times so far, they're 300 round high caps, which if you're new to airsoft, high cap, like I said before, means high capacity, which means you have a little door on the top here. You open it, you pour the BBs in there, and then you have this wheel on the bottom that you have to wind up to wind the spring to feed the BBs. Like I said, you get two, which is a really, that's a plus in my book when they give you an extra magazine. The internals, it's a version 2 gearbox made by Ares. This is all made by Ares. This is part of their competition line of guns, which is the cheaper ones. And then they have the Elite series, which are their more high-end, more expensive guns. But I mean, it's just your basic M4, but it's got the rail system here, so it is really good for indoor play. It's really nice. The sights are really nice. It feels really comfortable, especially with that crane stock. I think it's five or six position crane stock, and it just feels really, really nice when you shoulder it. In the crane stock, there's a good amount of wire. There might be a little bit much for me. It's sometimes when you put the battery in, like you see there, it took a little force. Sometimes it binds it up in there, and you got to really push it in. It really doesn't feel good. It feels like you're going to break the wires, but you know, overall it's a good gun. Aries makes a really nice gearbox. Like I said, it's a version 2 gearbox, steel gears. They're actually the bushings are actually oily bushings, which is it's oil impregnated steel. It chronos at about 325, which you might be saying, well, that's really low, but this is made for CQB, and most of the indoor fields here in the U.S. have a velocity limit of 350, which is what my field near me has. So, you know, I really liked this gun overall. When I took it out, it's pretty heavy. I mean, it's not heavy as all your full metal guns that everyone likes to have, all the full metal guns, because it is a nylon fiber, but nylon fiber is really strong. It's not going to break on you very easily. Now, a few of the problems that I had with this gun. The first problem would probably be the magazine. Now, like I said, they're 300 round high caps. I keep saying that, but they're plastic magazines, and you know, they don't feel really high quality. I'm not a huge fan of high caps either. I mean, they're easy to load, but you get, you know, you get that rattling sound from them. But they have feeding issues a lot of times if you don't wind them up enough. You know, if you don't wind them up a whole lot, you'll start to get feeding issues, and the spring in these is just not that great, to be honest with you. What I think I'm going to do, I think I'm going to pick up a few, I think they're 100 round mid caps. I'm going to pick up a few of those, probably run those instead of the high caps, just because they're easier. I mean, they're not as easy to load, but they're easier to, you don't have that rattling, and the mid caps made by Elite Force are a lot better. So there's that. That was my first problem. Now the second thing, taking this out of the box, it started to have a few issues. Now the battery, it's an okay battery. I mean, the batteries you get with these guns stock are not the greatest all the time, but it was an okay battery. It wasn't anything fantastic. It sort of had some issues in the gearbox for a little while. You know, the motor adjusting screw on the bottom here was way off. It needed a whole lot of adjusting out of the box to get it to shoot right. So that was my other problem. Now the third problem I had, like I mentioned earlier, where to put it, was with the manual. And, you know, when I was trying to get the battery in, I've never had a crane stock like this before. And I just couldn't figure out how to get the battery in it. Now, that seems something really simple that should be in the manual, right? Putting the battery in is the first thing. Now, they have a small blurb right here about how to put the battery in the M4 CQB. It just shows you to take it all apart and stuff, but, you know, a lot of people don't read the manuals, and it wasn't a very detailed description, so I'll show you to you right now how you actually put the battery in, because I do need to put the battery in. So what you're going to want to do is you take off this metal back, or this rubber butt plate here, which is kind of a pain in the butt to do. I like to use a screwdriver to sort of pry it off, because it's not the easiest thing to get off. So you just take off that rubber piece right here, and then there's this second plate on the back here, which usually is screwed in. I don't leave it screwed in because it's not going to come off when you're shooting. There's two tabs. I don't know if you can see, but there's two tabs down on the crane stock right here. and there's one on the other side, and you just pinch those really tight sometimes, but you just pinch them, and then this plate comes off after you've unscrewed the screw, and then here's your wire. Here's your wire right here, and the battery has a small to my connector, so that's what this runs, is a small connector. And the wire to get it back in is sort of a pain. If you know how a crane stock works, you might not if you're new. There's two compartments on either side, and you put one end of the stick of the crane stock battery in that side. But now the problem is, well, first you gotta make sure this is right so it's configured correctly so you don't tangle up your wires. You put the battery in the sides of the crane stock. Now the problem is, if you can see, there's all this wire sticking out of here, and it's kind of a pain to get in. So you're going to need to be able to put the connector down this middle post. There's a middle compartment down there. Once you got it stuck in there, extend the stock. Make sure all the wire's inside the stock. And then I like to leave it extended to put this plate back on. So you just go ahead and put the plate back on. And then you can slip your rubber butt plate back on. And there you go. Now you got your battery in. It will fire. So the battery is kind of a pain, and like I said, it sort of binds up the crane stock a bit. And if you got if you need like a shorter position, I don't usually have a problem because I leave it on the highest position because that's what feels the best. But if you're having, you might, if you're on a lower setting, you might have issues getting it stuck back in there, and it might feel like you're breaking the wires, which is a really good thing. That's the externals of the gun and the internals, and there's the overview of the gun itself. We're going to go ahead and move on to the shooting test.